If you nap like this, you're getting closer to death. 5. Dangerous nap habits. Older adults must avoid. If you're over 60 and waking up from naps feeling more exhausted than before, with a pounding headache and confusion about where you are, your body might be sending you a critical warning signal. What seems like innocent afternoon rest could be silently increasing your risk of stroke, heart failure, and early death. Today, you'll discover the 5 napping mistakes that research links to higher mortality rates in adults over 60. We'll cover why napping longer than 90 minutes disrupts your heart rhythm, how napping at the wrong time destroys your nighttime sleep and weakens immunity, and why certain nap positions restrict oxygen flow to your brain. You'll learn the exact warning signs your body gives before serious damage occurs, and I'll share the doctor-approved napping method that actually improves longevity, memory, and energy levels without any of the risks. Napping is deeply woven into the daily routine of millions of older adults. For some, it's a refreshing 20-minute recharge that enhances alertness and mood. For others, it's become an uncontrollable urge that leaves them groggy and disoriented. Here's what most people don't realize. After age 60, your body processes sleep differently. Your circadian rhythm weakens, deep sleep becomes fragmented, and daytime drowsiness can signal underlying conditions like sleep apnea, diabetes, or cardiovascular disease. A healthy nap is brief, intentional, and leaves you feeling restored. A dangerous nap is excessive, unplanned, and accompanied by symptoms like gasping for air, irregular heartbeat, or chronic fatigue. Studies show that adults who nap longer than 90 minutes daily face a 30% higher risk of premature death compared to non-nappers. The difference isn't just about duration. It's about what your napping pattern reveals about your overall health and how it disrupts critical bodily functions that keep you alive. The first dangerous habit is extended napping, regularly sleeping for more than 90 minutes during the day. While it might seem harmless to catch up on rest, prolonged daytime sleep creates a cascade of problems that directly threaten your cardiovascular system and metabolic health. When you nap beyond 90 minutes, you enter deep sleep stages that were meant for nighttime. This confuses your body's internal clock, disrupting the natural production of cortisol and melatonin. Your heart rate, which should remain steady during brief rest, begins to fluctuate irregularly. Blood pressure that normally dips during short naps can spike upon waking from extended sleep, putting immediate stress on your arteries. Research from the European Heart Journal tracked over 20,000 adults and found that those who napped longer than 90 minutes had a 50% increased risk of developing cardiovascular disease compared to those who napped 30 minutes or less. The connection is clear. Excessive daytime sleep reduces nighttime sleep quality, leading to chronic sleep deprivation masked by daytime drowsiness. Your body also experiences insulin resistance when you oversleep during the day. Glucose metabolism slows down, causing blood sugar levels to remain elevated longer than they should. For seniors already managing diabetes or pre-diabetes, this creates a dangerous feedback loop where poor napping habits worsen blood sugar control, which then causes more fatigue and longer naps. Beyond metabolic disruption, extended napping severely impacts cognitive function. When you sleep too long during the day, you rob your brain of the restorative deep sleep it needs at night. This leads to memory consolidation problems, slower reaction times, and increased risk of dementia. A study published in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society found that adults over 65 who napped more than 2 hours daily showed accelerated cognitive decline over a 5-year period. The inflammation markers in your blood also rise with excessive daytime sleep. C-reactive protein and interleukin-6, both indicators of systemic inflammation, increase significantly in people who regularly take long naps. This chronic inflammation damages blood vessels, accelerates atherosclerosis, and raises your risk of heart attack and stroke. Your body sends clear distress signals when extended napping is damaging your health. The most obvious sign is sleep inertia. Waking up from your nap feeling extremely groggy, confused, and needing 30 minutes or more to feel alert again. If you're stumbling around disoriented after naps, your brain is struggling to transition out of deep sleep cycles it shouldn't have entered during daytime. Increased nighttime insomnia is another red flag. If you're napping over 90 minutes and then lying awake for hours at bedtime, you've stolen too much sleep from your night cycle. You might also notice increased irritability, mood swings, and difficulty concentrating in the evenings, all signs that your circadian rhythm is severely disrupted. Physical symptoms include waking with a dry mouth, excessive thirst, or needing to urinate immediately, indicating blood sugar fluctuations. If you're experiencing frequent vivid dreams or nightmares during daytime naps, you're reaching REM sleep stages reserved for nighttime, signaling a deeply disturbed sleep architecture that increases health risks substantially. The second dangerous habit is consistently napping while sitting up in a recliner, armchair, or propped against pillows rather than lying flat. Many older adults develop this habit because it feels easier than getting into bed, or they believe it prevents them from sleeping too long. However, this seemingly innocent choice creates serious respiratory and circulatory problems. When you sleep upright, gravity works against your body's natural functions. Your head tends to fall forward or to the side, compressing your airway and restricting oxygen flow. Even without diagnosed sleep apnea, this positioning causes shallow breathing and periodic oxygen desaturation. Your brain receives less oxygen than it needs, and over time, this contributes to vascular damage and cognitive impairment. Your cardiovascular system suffers significantly from upright napping. Blood pools in your lower extremities instead of circulating efficiently throughout your body. This increases the risk of deep vein thrombosis, blood clots that form in your legs and can travel to your lungs or brain, causing potentially fatal pulmonary embolisms or strokes. Research published in Circulation Journal found that people who regularly sleep in seated positions have a 2.5 times higher incidence of leg clots compared to those who sleep horizontally. The compression on your spine and internal organs creates additional problems. Your digestive system doesn't function properly when compressed, leading to acid reflux, bloating, and poor nutrient absorption. Stomach acid flows back into your esophagus more easily when you're upright but relaxed, damaging the esophageal lining and increasing cancer risk over decades of repeated exposure. Your lymphatic system, which clears metabolic waste from your brain, operates most efficiently when you're lying flat. When you nap upright, this waste removal process slows dramatically. Toxins like beta-amyloid proteins, the same ones that accumulate in Alzheimer's disease, build up in your brain tissue. A study from Stony Brook University demonstrated that side-lying sleep positions allow the brain to clear waste 25% more efficiently than upright positions. Nerve compression is another serious consequence. Sitting for extended periods during naps puts pressure on the sciatic nerve, peroneal nerve, and ulnar nerve, depending on your position. This causes the tingling, numbness, and weakness many people dismiss as their leg falling asleep. But repeated compression damages nerve fibers permanently, leading to chronic pain and mobility issues. The most immediate warning sign of upright napping damage is waking with severe neck stiffness and pain that radiates into your shoulders. If you need several minutes of stretching before you can turn your head normally, your cervical spine is under dangerous stress. Notice if you're experiencing frequent pins and needles sensations in your hands, arms, or legs after naps. This numbness indicates nerve compression that's cutting off circulation and damaging nerve pathways. If your legs feel weak or unsteady when you first stand up, blood has pooled dangerously in your lower body. Swelling in your ankles and feet that worsens after napping reveals poor circulation and fluid retention. Check for asymmetric swelling. If one leg is noticeably larger, this could indicate a blood clot forming. Acid reflux, heartburn, or a sour taste in your mouth after upright naps shows stomach acid is damaging your esophagus. Increased dizziness or lightheadedness when standing after seated naps indicates orthostatic hypertension. Your blood pressure is dropping dangerously because your cardiovascular system can't adjust quickly enough from the compromised position. The third dangerous habit is napping after 3 p.m. particularly in the late afternoon or early evening hours. While the timing might seem arbitrary, your body operates on a precise biological schedule that becomes even more critical as you age. Disrupting this schedule with late naps creates a domino effect of health problems that extend far beyond simple sleep disturbance. Your circadian rhythm is controlled by the suprachiasmatic nucleus in your brain, which responds to light exposure and regulates hormone production throughout the day. When you nap late, you're essentially telling your body that it's still midday when it should be preparing for nighttime rest. This confuses the release of melatonin, the hormone that signals sleep readiness. Instead of melatonin levels rising naturally around 9 p.m., they remain suppressed, making it impossible to fall asleep at a healthy hour. The consequences cascade through your entire endocrine system. Cortisol, which should decrease in the evening to allow relaxation, remains elevated after late naps. This keeps your body in a state of alertness when it needs to wind down, elevating blood pressure and heart rate during hours when they should be declining. Studies from the Sleep Research Society show that people who nap after 4 p.m. experience nighttime blood pressure that's 15 to 20 points higher than optimal, increasing stroke risk by 40%. Late napping devastates your sleep architecture. When you finally do fall asleep at night, your body struggles to reach the deep, restorative sleep stages it desperately needs. You spend more time in light sleep, wake frequently, and never achieve the sustained, deep sleep required for cellular repair, immune function, and memory consolidation. This creates chronic sleep deprivation, despite spending adequate hours in bed. Your immune system pays a heavy price for late napping patterns. Deep sleep triggers the release of cytokines, proteins that fight infection and inflammation. Without adequate deep sleep at night, your body produces fewer of these protective molecules. Research published in Sleep Medicine Reviews found that people with disrupted circadian rhythms, including late nappers, have 50% lower antibody responses to vaccines and take twice as long to recover from infections. The metabolic damage from late napping is particularly severe. Your body's glucose tolerance follows a circadian pattern, being highest in the morning and declining throughout the day. Late afternoon and evening naps occur when your insulin sensitivity is already low. This means any food you eat after these naps is more likely to cause blood sugar spikes that persist into the night, damaging blood vessels and accelerating diabetes progression. The clearest warning sign of late napping damage is lying awake past midnight despite feeling exhausted. If you're tossing and turning for hours after getting into bed, your late nap has disrupted your natural sleep-wake cycle. You might notice feeling suddenly energized around 8 or 9 p.m. when you should be winding down. This unnatural second wind indicates your circadian rhythm is completely out of sync. Track if you're waking up multiple times throughout the night, especially between 2 and 4 a.m. These frequent awakenings mean you're never achieving the deep sleep your body requires. Morning grogginess that persists even after a full night in bed suggests your sleep quality is severely compromised, not just your sleep quantity. Notice unexplained weight gain, particularly around your midsection. Late napping disrupts metabolic hormones, causing increased fat storage and relentless food cravings, especially for carbohydrates and sweets in the evening. If you find yourself raiding the kitchen after dinner more frequently, your hunger hormones are dysregulated. Increased susceptibility to colds, infections, or slow wound healing indicates your immune system is weakened from disrupted nighttime sleep. Mood changes like increased anxiety, irritability, or feeling emotionally fragile signal that your brain isn't getting the restoration it needs during proper sleep hours. Dangerous nap habit. 4. Unintentional or uncontrollable napping. The fourth dangerous habit is falling asleep involuntarily throughout the day, dozing off while watching television, reading, sitting in a waiting room, or even during conversations. Unlike intentional rest, these sudden sleep episodes signal that something is seriously wrong with either your nighttime sleep quality or your overall health status. Uncontrollable daytime sleepiness is medically termed excessive daytime somnolence, and it's not a normal part of aging. When your brain forces you into sleep during activities that should keep you alert, it's compensating for severe sleep deprivation or responding to a life-threatening condition that's depriving your body of oxygen or proper brain function. The most common culprit is obstructive sleep apnea, affecting over 50% of adults over 65. During sleep, your airway collapses repeatedly, stopping airflow for 10 seconds or longer. Your brain partially wakes you to restore breathing, but you don't remember these micro-awakenings. This happens dozens or even hundreds of times per night, fragmenting your sleep so severely that your brain shuts down involuntarily during the day to protect itself. Each apnea episode drops your blood oxygen levels, starving your heart and brain of oxygen. Over years, this causes irreversible damage to both organs and increases mortality risk by 300%. Heart failure is another critical cause of uncontrollable napping. When your heart can't pump blood efficiently, your body doesn't receive adequate oxygen and nutrients. Your brain interprets this as an emergency and forces sleep to reduce metabolic demands. If you're falling asleep unintentionally and also experiencing shortness of breath, swollen ankles, or fatigue with minimal exertion, your heart may be failing. Uncontrolled diabetes creates dangerous blood sugar fluctuations that trigger sudden sleep episodes. When glucose levels spike too high or drop too low, your brain's energy supply becomes unstable. Hypoglycemia, low blood sugar, is particularly dangerous, causing confusion, dizziness, and involuntary sleep that can progress to diabetic coma if untreated. Neurological conditions like Parkinson's disease, early dementia, and narcolepsy all present with uncontrollable daytime sleep. These conditions damage the brain regions that regulate wakefulness and sleep-wake transitions. The sudden sleep attacks aren't just inconvenient, they're visible evidence of progressive neurological deterioration. Medication side effects account for many cases of involuntary napping in seniors. Blood pressure medications, antidepressants, antihistamines and pain medications all list drowsiness as side effects. But when these drugs accumulate in your system or interact with each other, they can cause dangerous levels of sedation. Your liver and kidneys process medications less efficiently after 60, so drugs remain in your bloodstream longer, intensifying their sedative effects. The most alarming warning sign is falling asleep during activities that normally hold your attention. Mid-conversation, while eating, or during engaging television programs. If family members are shaking you awake, or you're startling yourself back to consciousness multiple times daily, your brain is experiencing dangerous lapses in wakefulness. Notice if you're having micro-sleeps while driving, brief moments where your eyes close or you drift out of your lane. These episodes, even lasting just seconds, indicate severe sleep deprivation or oxygen deficiency that makes driving potentially fatal. If you've missed exits, forgotten parts of your drive, or felt your head nodding forward behind the wheel, you're experiencing a medical emergency. Track sudden episodes of confusion or disorientation upon waking from these unintended naps. If you don't remember falling asleep or can't recall where you are for several moments, your brain is shutting down without proper warning signals. Loud snoring punctuated by silent pauses, followed by gasping or choking sounds, indicates sleep apnea. Your partner might report that you stop breathing during sleep. This oxygen deprivation is why you can't stay awake during the day. Persistent morning headaches, especially concentrated around your forehead and temples, signal overnight oxygen deprivation. Waking with a racing heart or night sweats indicates your body is fighting to breathe all night. Dangerous nap habit. Mudra 5. Napping. Immediately after meals. The fifth dangerous habit is lying down to nap within 30 minutes of eating, especially after large or heavy meals. This practice feels natural because digestion makes you drowsy, but it creates severe complications for your digestive, cardiovascular and metabolic systems that are particularly harmful after age 60. When you eat, blood flow redirects to your stomach and intestines to support digestion. This process requires significant circulatory resources. Up to 30% of your cardiac output goes to your digestive tract after a substantial meal. When you lie down immediately afterward, you force your heart to work against gravity to maintain this blood flow while simultaneously trying to supply your brain with adequate oxygen for sleep. This double demand strains your cardiovascular system, especially if you have existing heart conditions. The most immediate danger is severe acid reflux. Your stomach produces hydrochloric acid to break down food, and the lower esophageal sphincter, the muscular valve between your stomach and esophagus, keeps this acid contained. When you lie flat with a full stomach, gravity no longer helps this valve function. Acid flows backward into your esophagus, causing the burning sensation of heartburn. But the damage goes deeper than discomfort. Chronic acid exposure erodes your esophageal lining, creating Barrett's esophagus, a precancerous condition that increases your risk of esophageal cancer by 40 times. Post-meal napping wreaks havoc on blood sugar control. After eating, your pancreas releases insulin to move glucose from your bloodstream into your cells. Physical activity and remaining upright help this process. When you sleep immediately after eating, your metabolism slows dramatically and glucose lingers in your bloodstream much longer than it should. For people with diabetes or prediabetes, this creates dangerous hyperglycemia that damages blood vessels, nerves and organs. A study in Diabetologia found that post-meal napping raised blood glucose levels by an average of 35 mmHg compared to staying upright, keeping seniors in the diabetic range for hours longer. Your digestive efficiency collapses when you nap after eating. Food sits in your stomach instead of moving through your intestines at the proper pace. This causes bloating, gas, constipation, and incomplete nutrient absorption. Over time, you're not extracting the vitamins, minerals, and proteins your body needs from your food, leading to malnutrition despite eating adequately. The most recognizable warning sign is waking from post-meal naps with intense heartburn or a burning sensation rising into your throat and chest. If you're tasting food or acid in your mouth hours after eating, stomach contents are flowing backward into areas they don't belong, causing tissue damage with every episode. Chronic coughing or throat clearing, especially at night or upon waking, indicates acid is irritating your airways. Some people develop a hoarse voice or feel like something is stuck in their throat. This globus sensation results from inflammation caused by repeated acid exposure. Bloating and abdominal discomfort that persists for hours after eating reveals slowed digestion. If you're experiencing frequent belching, excessive gas, or feeling uncomfortably full long after meals, food is fermenting in your stomach instead of moving through your digestive tract properly. Notice patterns of constipation alternating with urgent bowel movements. This irregular digestive rhythm signals that your intestines aren't processing food on a healthy schedule. Unexplained weight loss despite eating normally suggests you're not absorbing nutrients efficiently from your meals. Blood sugar readings that remain elevated 3 to 4 hours after eating indicate dangerous glucose metabolism problems. If you're experiencing increased thirst, frequent urination, or blurred vision after post-meal naps, your blood sugar is staying in harmful ranges. Waking up, choking, coughing violently, or struggling to catch your breath represents aspiration, stomach contents entering your lungs. This medical emergency requires immediate attention, as it can rapidly progress to life-threatening pneumonia. The healthiest nap lasts between 20 and 30 minutes, long enough to provide restorative benefits without entering deep sleep stages that cause grogginess. Schedule naps between 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. when your circadian rhythm naturally dips, making rest beneficial rather than disruptive to nighttime sleep. Always nap lying flat on your back or side in a proper bed, never in chairs or recliners. Use one pillow that keeps your neck aligned with your spine, not propped up excessively. Side sleeping is ideal for preventing acid reflux and maintaining open airways. Wait at least 2 hours after eating before lying down to nap, allowing digestion to progress sufficiently. Set an alarm to prevent oversleeping. Even feeling tired, force yourself awake at 30 minutes to avoid entering deep sleep cycles. Create a cool, dark environment between 65–68 degrees Celsius. Use blackout curtains or an eye mask to block light, signaling your brain it's time for brief rest. Avoid napping if you struggled to sleep the previous night. Powering through daytime drowsiness helps rebuild healthy sleep pressure for better nighttime rest. Russell, a 68-year-old retired mechanic, spent years napping 3 hours every afternoon in his recliner waking with severe headaches and struggling to sleep at night. After his doctor diagnosed sleep apnea and prediabetes, Russell committed to change. He limited naps to 25 minutes, only between 1 to 2 p.m., and always lay flat in bed. Within 8 weeks, his blood sugar normalized, he lost 15 pounds, his nighttime sleep improved dramatically, and his morning headaches disappeared completely. His energy returned, allowing him to enjoy woodworking and time with his grandchildren again. Your napping habits directly impact how long and how well you'll live. Avoid naps over 90 minutes, never sleep upright, nap only between 1 to 3 p.m., stay awake if drowsiness is uncontrollable, and wait 2 hours after meals before lying down. These aren't just suggestions. They're life-saving changes that protect your heart, brain, and metabolism. Start today by setting a 25-minute timer for your next nap and lying flat in bed. Your body will thank you with more energy, better health, and added years to enjoy life with the people you love. If you're over 60 and waking up from naps feeling more exhausted than before, with a pounding headache and confusion about where you are, your body might be sending you a critical warning signal.